PKE meter. It's a crossover I've always been waiting for. Digimon and Ghost... What, Ghost Game? Oh, this season's gonna suck.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Digimon Ghost Game. It's here. Very quickly after Adventure 2020. It really came out that fast. We're here now, and we've gone through and what we hoped the season would be, but now the season's here. Now we actually get to see what it is.
Mm-hmm.
This video will have a lot of spoilers about what happens in Digimon Ghost Game Episode 1, The Sewn-Lip Man. So be very warned that if you're not looking for spoilers, you don't want to be here.
And be aware that we're going to switch back and forth between English and Japanese names and of stages and some Digimon at times. Just because some of them are just so familiar with, it's hard for me to change back.
Yes.
All this time later.
Especially since they haven't even addressed stages or anything yet in this season. So that will be a thing. So come along with us for the ride as we enter into the world of Digimon Ghost Game, which right off the bat is a very different tone.
Yes, that seems that way.
From the opening intro, which has a lot of very strange and interesting visuals of spiraling staircase and dark ghosts. And
yes, definitely the horror and a surrealistic tone to it.
Yes, right from the intro. And it pretty much seems to show the adult/champion forms of just about every one of the original Digimon. Including Gamamon seems to have more than one they're showing. I'm not sure quite what that's going to be, but I've tried not to read too deep into these things because I don't want to spoil myself what hasn't happened in the anime.
Yeah, I'm going as about as blind as I can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's more theories, and we can come up with our own theories and stuff that you'll see.
I'm sure you'll hear several as this video goes along.
Yes, but we're trying not to dive so deep into what's been leaked and, what people have data mined or whatever they found out there. We're trying to formulate our own based on what we can find in the season. And so it begins right away with them talking about a horror story. Basically.
Yeah, basically urban legends kind of things. Yeah.
And apparently we are now in Sapporo, which I don't pay that much attention to the other seasons. I don't know if we've ever been to this section. Like, I know the original was in Odaiba, and things like that. So I don't think this is where we've been before, but it probably won't be that important, especially as someone not from that region.
Yes.
And I don't really understand it.
Yeah, there's a few hints in here, like kids' ages and things, where I was more aware of Japanese culture. I'd be able to tell more precisely.
Yes.
But we'll get to that as we go, when we get to them.
Yeah. So the opening intro is talking about how these hologram ghosts have been seen for about 2 or 3 years now. People aren't really sure what they are, but it seems in general that holograms are common.
Yes, that's the impression I've got. This is one of the few things that could definitely have been made more clear as this episode went along.
Because, it seems like advertisements and stuff were using, like, holograms. Yes, and other props later in the episode were holographic.
In fact, the first hologram you see is of the blue dragons. They're advertising dragon water. I approve.
Yes! Very much so. And so, it's a very broad intro to the world there, and this is where we get into the tale of the Sewn-Lip Man.
Yes.
And as they're talking about it, we see some girl. We don't know who.
A couple of girls,
yeah. Yeah, they're talking about it at the table, but then as they're talking about it, we go to the theater there, and we see the one girl walking in.
Ah, okay, yes. That's what you meant. I understand now.
Yes, the one girl walking in, and she's looking for some... Looks like a pencil case she left behind. It's not real important what she's there for, but looks like it's after hours, no one else is there, and she's coming back to find something.
It's dark, yep.
And suddenly the spooky music starts playing, her phone goes off, the clock goes...
The auditorium,
goes haywire, and a generally rather spooky atmosphere. They really were... They really pushed for it. And the ghost of some Digimon appears, because any Digimon fan has no idea who this Digimon is. He's shown up once before in the anime with the young hunters who traveled through time.
He's been around a long time, but yeah, doesn't have a lot of appearances.
Yeah, he's been around the games a lot. Yeah, I mean, he'll introduce himself later, but most fans will know who the clock Digimon is.
And then he keeps bad time in the original Digimon world, yes.
Yes. And he asks, what time is it? And, I mean, most people will at least have some idea what the time is, even if the clock's messing up, but she's royally freaked out, and I understand why.
Like
so,
yeah.
And so she's, I don't know, and your time is mine. And he swings that hammer and hits this golden bubble
around her, yeah.
Around her.
Eventually I thought this was like a shield, and the heroes have arrived, and they protect her from the attack, and this will make their grand appearance. I was wrong.
No.
As it turns out, I was quite wrong.
Yes. And he drains this golden energy from her that's a bunch of ones and zeros. Looks like Data, and she just kind of shrivels up.
Yep, she ages and shrivels up and falls over, and this is pretty brutal.
Yeah, this
pretty much your opening scene. This is setting a tone. This screenshot right here.
Yeah. This is you got my attention.
Yeah.
that was yeah, that was more than most seasons would. Hello, Black Gentleman.
Yes.
And so that's where we leave her off, just lying there in the middle of there, and we go back to the girls talking about it, and we figure out that there's only one of them we get a name for.
Yes.
And that's Ruli, who seems to be one who has influence, as she was, talking to everyone about getting a bunch of information. It seems like she's
the group leader setting up some kind of organization to look into the Sewn-Lip Man legend.
Yes. I have a feeling that she is the female tamer, but because of lighting and everything, she didn't quite look
There's
right.
a serious red tint in this scene right here.
So I'm not sure if this is actually...
I think it's her, but she's definitely not redheaded, but...
No.
Everything's red here. The other two girls are redheads, too. I'm not sure if they really are either.
Mm-hmm.
So...
we'll have to see. And then we switch over to our main lead, most likely, for this season.
Be my guess.
At least at this point, he seems this way. We go to Hiro and Amanokawa. Sure. I mean, we never remember their last names anyway, so... Which at first I thought was the exact same name as the protagonist from Atmon. I remember, no, it's Haru. But another fairly similar, like Taiki and Taichi, where it seems like it could be another very similar.
As opposed to like the Ruli introduction, where I felt like I got a pretty good grasp of her adventure spirit and all that. This is a really boring start for him, honestly.
Yes, I mean, I think they were trying to tone it down a little after the sudden, Glockmon attack, but yeah, it's much more simple, and
it's not a real
friend begging him for homework and to copy and
yes.
Eating breakfast,
brushing his teeth, and it's like, this is kind of boring, really.
Yep. But very soon after we meet him, we meet what I believe is the other tamer.
Pretty confident with a rap hand.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident it's him, but in the entire episode, we never learned this guy's name.
No, he's always addressed with the formalities.
Dorm leader or senpai?
Yep.
And that's it. So, we went through an entire episode without learning his name. I mean, I bet you if he really is that guy, we will learn his name.
Learn his name.
Plenty.
I bet you his name's on the internet, but again, trying to avoid this kind of stuff.
Yes, just trying to go off of what has come up. And then, as they finally are walking to apparently, go to class and everything, at least it seemed like it, he notices a police car and it triggers a flashback in which we go back to...
Oh, okay. I didn't interpret that as flashback at all. But it'll make a heck of a lot more sense.
Oh, yeah, that's what I... that's what I thought of it as, yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yes. Where Haru's making... Or Hiro. I messed myself up there. Hiro is making breakfast, I assume. He's making eggs and toast. I assume that's for breakfast. I mean, I've never eaten, French toast for dinner. Never. Never do anything like that.
Or cook pancakes on a cookie sheet.
Oh, God.
I'm sure they won't get edited out.
Ask down in the comments if you want to know more about that story. But anyway... He walks upstairs and is like, "Hey, Dad, it's time for dinner." He doesn't mention Mom. which is addressed later.
Yeah.
He does. There's no answer. So he opens the door, and there's this burnt out, small little kind of crater in his office.
Yes.
With what looks like the vital bracelet in there. It looks very similar. I mean, later it is called a Digivice, but from what I know of, that looks like a vital bracelet to me.
And he does mention it as entrance exam for junior high, or?
Yeah, his junior high entrance ceremony is what he's preparing for.
So this would give you an idea of how old he is if I knew more about Japanese culture.
Yes. Being from the English culture, I'd say he's like 12 or 13. In Japanese, that could be different.
Yeah.
What exactly they would call junior high or whatever, it could very well be different. But I mean, 12 or 13 would be pretty normal for Digimon.
Yeah, it seems reasonable, I guess.
For most seasons. Yeah. And the very interesting thing I found is, like, the main thing that they focus on, besides, the Digivice, is that the picture of the family is cut in half. You see all of their, waist down, but you don't see anything else. So why don't they show the mother? Is that just... it's because the picture burned? Or is mother going to be something different and some surprise with her later?
Is this intentionally hiding from her, or just they decided to put half the picture down and
Yeah.
we're analyzing it?
Yeah, it could very well be. Because, I mean, no matter what happens, Hiro should recognize his mother. I mean,
Yes.
I don't think anything's going to happen that would change. So, it's probably nothing, but something I noticed.
Then again, there was almost a flash of his father there and his father not there, so I guess I thought
Yes.
that was the flashback. So a flashback in a flashback, maybe.
Yes. Inception. Flashception. Yeah, and then he's talking to the police after, because apparently he called it into the police, which would make sense.
Which would be a logical thing to do. Yes.
Yeah. And that's where they address the mother. She's apparently one that goes off in, like, missionary work, that goes out to help those with others. And
Yeah,
it's not uncommon for her not to be home. But she was told, and she was shocked, as he says. So, I mean, yeah, if anyone goes missing, I think, you'd be pretty surprised, too, but... And he hides the Digivice from them. He doesn't show it to them. He keeps it behind his back. Or at least he tries to. It never shows them, finding it, but it gets standing the whole time with his hands behind his back,
Not suspicious at all.
Yeah. Might be suspicious. So yeah. So they make it to school. They ask him to go move some boxes. It seems like he's a very goody two-shoes, I'll help out. And
I don't know if I want to say he's goody two-shoes, but he doesn't say no to anybody, it seems.
He's I don't know quite how you want to put that. Not gullible, but
Yeah, because he wasn't able to tell his other friend no, not to copy his homework.
easy to be manipulated kind of thing.
Yeah,
maybe.
possibly like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a better term for it, but I'm not coming up with it at the moment. But there's at least 3 or 4 times in this episode where he could say no and just can't. He doesn't even seem to think of it. So they move some boxes, and that's what brings them to the area where supposedly...
outside the theater, auditorium, whatever exactly it is.
Yeah, where this supposedly happened. And it turns out that his friend is a follower of Larurin. Probably butchering quite how to pronounce it. That's supposedly an influencer. And it seems like this is Ruli.
Yep, because again, talking about the Sewn-Lip Man, and this is the famous for it.
And trying to find more information. So I believe that is her. I mean, who would ever use, internet name and not use my real name and everything?
No one would ever do that, right, Rordrik?
Yeah, I don't know, Aji.
Okay. Weird people.
Yeah, don't trust those people. And so he really wants to get in there to take some pictures. So he asks Hiro to help him. And again, he doesn't say no.
Not only does he not only say no, he's really well prepared.
Yeah. Not only does he know how to lockpick, he brings lockpicks to school.
Yes.
Is he afraid someone's going to shut him in a locker or something?
I never thought I'd see a main character picking a lock before we even introduced to his partner Digimon.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah. I mean, I have no problem with him knowing how to do this, but it's just a rather odd...
I just was not expecting this. This is all.
Yeah, just a rather odd thing for him to be doing.
Again, kind of different tone, different character, main character maybe.
Yeah, That can be just fine. I like it when Digimon changes more and doesn't try to do things again, because it usually doesn't go well when they try to go too similar, from my experience.
And his friend there comes in and says, "Gee, you're awfully handy." And his response is, "Well, his dad was an inventor, so..."
He picked up some things. And
I guess his dad locked himself in the bathroom or something often. I don't know exactly how this corresponds, but...
Well, he had to break in and find out what Dad was working on.
Something.
Yeah.
His dad fried some locks a few times, so he had to... the tumblers, so he had to pick them.
Yep.
I don't know. At least you're trying.
Yes. And when they go in, they're checking their phone. The small detail I noticed is that Hero's phone says 7G in the corner. So this is clearly meant to be, probably the future, I mean, there's holograms, which, could probably kind of happen today, but they're not, commonplace. You're not seeing an ad on the side of a building suddenly shoot out like, these surfers and things. So, I mean, it could be trying to say, 15, 20 years in the future. It's probably not important, exactly the timeline. And so they go in there, and he's trying to find information, about it. Gee, the girl's not there anymore.
Yes.
They've moved her. Thankfully, they don't step on her or anything.
Yes, there has been an investigation.
Yes.
There was holographic police tape outside.
Yes, one of the reasons why we say the holograms are not uncommon, because the characters just looked at that and went, not a problem. And then, after a little while of looking around, building up the suspense, then finally, it does happen.
Yes.
The phones go off, the clock goes wild, and the friend is really excited.
Oh, he's taking all kinds of pictures.
Pictures of nothing for the most part at first.
At first, yeah.
He's just taking pictures wherever, and suddenly, creepy man over your shoulder, Clockmon is...
Yes.
Oh, sorry, don't know his name. Is there, asking the same questions. And, yeah.
Turns around, all excited, takes lots and lots of pictures, and gets hit upside the head with a hammer.
Yeah, gee, he attracts attention. And the same thing happens to him. He gets...
So circle, and yeah.
Yep, and he gets drained. And then Clockmon turns around and spends a little bit too long spinning his hammer to build up the suspense, and the light turns on.
And some random dude shows up and asks what's going on.
I assume it's a teacher, if I had to guess, but...
It'd be my guess, but...
Because it was an older, not a child, it was, seemed to be more an adult.
So at this point I'm pondering, is the Digimon not able to be in bright light?
Yeah, is it... doesn't want to be seen by more than one person, but he just attacked these two.
Yeah, so that's not it.
That's not it. But then as Hero is being let out, we see Clockmon standing right on top of the building staring at him.
In broad light, in the light, yeah. So that's obviously not it.
I mean, the sun was kind of lower, but the sun was still out.
Yeah, it was still daytime.
Yeah. So...
Still before dusk.
That was not it. So yeah. So
that's about that. And they show him being taken away and talking to the police, but oddly enough, we never get any scene of him talking to the police. Do they think he's crazy? Is this common enough that they believe him?
Yeah.
Does Clockmon show up on his friend's phone? Could he actually take pictures of him?
Mm-hmm.
All of this is just never addressed, glanced over, which was very surprising and a little disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, it's early. We can see maybe these things will come up again. We'll talk to... If we talk to him again. Oh, yeah. So he goes back to the dorm rooms, and the dorm leader comes to check in on him.
Yes.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, this is bad," and hands him a talisman.
Yep.
And he is clearly freaking out.
And given the nature of this world, he is justified in doing this.
Yes. Because what I always assumed is, the second male character, we're going to get another Matt type. We're going to get, a strong, cool, nothing shakes him kind of person. That is not this. That is not this character.
No, this is more of a Joe character, more of an older adult. Don't you realize how crazy this all is? Character, yeah.
Maybe a little paranoid, but given what's happening, I think he's got a right to.
Yeah, he's absolutely justified. He's got a whole bunch of talismans on himself.
He's got 8 or whatever.
Hanging off his neck.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how many, but yeah, he's got a whole bunch. And then that's when back in Hero's room, because we're done with the other characters for the episode. not trying to focus on.
So it's all Hero from here on, yeah.
Yep. As he's still a little freaked out, as always, something falls over. So he hears some sound, and he starts freaking out. And that's when the dim cards fall out of his pocket.
I thought they fell out of his head, like out of nowhere.
No.
Initially.
No. The screenshots will tell us. I'll go through and make sure, but I'm pretty sure since I just went through and watched it. Yeah, they just fall out of his pocket because he jumps and he has them. And then seeing those, he pulls out a box which has 3 of those vital bracelet digivices
on them
in it. But we only saw the one before.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the other 2 were just lying around the office and he put them all together.
But
I don't know that. He didn't seem surprised that suddenly there was 3 in there.
Yeah.
So I assume he knew. Yeah, like I said, I'm assuming he just found them all there and grabbed them all. Yeah, trying to maybe not overthinking the whole thing. But he puts the first one in, and his dad voice tells him, "Sorry, this is backup." Puts another one in, and does something very similar. Until finally he puts the third one in, and his room's covered in grass.
And things happened, yeah.
And then things happened, yeah. This is where things really picked up to get things started. And yeah, the room's covered in grass.
Yes. Yep.
And then suddenly he looks over towards the door,
which sounded like it opened and shut.
And there's a black Gatomon.
Yep, there's a raincoat black Gatomon
there. Yeah. Which I'm assuming is not actually a black Gatomon. It's probably got its own name and everything.
Yeah, I don't know if this black Gatomon is wearing a coat or if it's another subspecies of the Gatomon line.
I'm assuming it's another, but I could be wrong. And then it points over towards the computer.
Chair, yeah.
In the chair. He looks over, and the door opens and shut, and he's gone.
And the Gatomon is gone.
So, probably will come back. The thing shows up in the intro, so I'm kind of assuming
we'll probably see her again.
It will probably be back more than that. And that's when he looks over and finds this little white Triceratops-looking Digimon chewing on a can?
I think it's a can, yeah, something.
I'm assuming it's a can. Don't know what else it would be. And he, freaks out. as most people would be. I don't know. Still one of my favorites is Haru's first reaction to the Appmon coming out and just nope.
Things should not be coming out of the phone. Nope.
Yes. This one was pretty good too. It was a pretty good freak out. And
then a little Triceratops Digimon introduces himself as Gamamon.
Yep. Which I knew that name well before this. That was a hard one.
That was hard to miss, yeah.
And very shortly afterward, Dad just kind of appears.
Kind of a hologram of Dad, yeah.
Yep. And it's Gamamon that says his name, which is Hakudo.
Hakudo, yeah, something
like that. And he's trying to hug his leg and stuff, and he just passes through it. So he's a hologram. And Dad just kind of explains the very basics of what Digimon, he's kind of in cyberspace or the digital world.
Yeah, he's in the digital world, but it's kind of like cyberspace, and isn't it cool?
Isn't it cool? He doesn't know much about it. But I mean, I would assume he was experimenting and got himself there? I don't think he...
I assume that's what happened when the crater thing occurred.
Yeah, but we have no real evidence one way or the other how exactly that happened. If he was abducted like most kids are, but most adults usually aren't, but it's a whole new world of Digimon.
Yes.
It could be very different.
Yeah, but most kids don't get their life force sucked out of them like this either. So.
Yeah. So, hey, you want to do different things? All the more power to you.
Yeah,
I am A-okay with that. And he tells him to actually wear the Digivice.
Yep.
He calls it a Digivice. So, whether they'll ever actually be called the Vital Bracelets or not, probably not if they just call them Digivices. But, hey, put it on and your world's about to change. This is your little brother.
Yes, your first Gamamon is his little brother.
Which, what does that mean?
Yeah, that could mean a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You could interpret that a lot of different ways.
I'm just assuming because he also helped to raise Gamamon, he treats him like a son, so then, his sons are brothers, basically. That seems the most simple explanation. We could get.
It could be a lot more complicated than that.
Especially if they want to keep it as creepy as the season started, they could go, you did what?
Yeah, I was thinking more like the Mega Man Battle Network kind of thing, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Yep. Interesting to see.
He was made with your DNA. What? Who knows?
Well, if it's his son, if it's his brother, it'd be like his father's DNA than someone else's.
Yeah.
We could go a lot of places with this.
Yes. Again, it's just the kind of line that they run with, and we'll see if it's more than just a cute nickname or title.
Yeah. But he says he's fine where he is, and it's okay, don't worry about him.
Yep, more or less. He's not injured or anything that we can see. He seems
happy and healthy.
Yeah. And then finally the hologram disappears with Hiro still having a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And fully understand. And as he's going to put it on, he mentions, so this is what you've been working on, Dad, for half a year. I'm not sure if that means he's been gone for half a year.
They've been working on this for half a year before he disappeared?
Yeah, it's not quite clear to me which that is. I assumed it was he's been gone for half a year, but it's not specifically stated that is the case. So, not 100% sure. And so, when he first puts the Digivice on, we see a hologram of Gamamon.
Yep.
So, this is the only time we see Gamamon as the hologram.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen Clockmon.
In that kind of state, yeah.
Yeah, because Clockmon's always been ghostly the entire time we've seen him. But Gamamon, when we first saw him, was solid. And now he's a hologram.
And then he tinkers with the Digivice a little more, and he's back into that solid-looking state, yeah.
Yep. And that's when he jumps on him and literally saying, "Chomp," as he bites his leg. I mean, he just says it? Okay.
He's kind of a love bite in that one. He actually literally says, "Jump."
Yes. I don't think it was quite like Agumon in Data Squad, where you literally think I was trying to eat him, trying to eat Marcus, because he was hungry. I don't think it was quite that. No. And yeah, he's back to solid and take good care of me, Hiro. Yay! Everything's happy.
Yep, he seems very, very young in this one, almost toddler-like.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought like Guillemon was, innocent, and he might even be more so.
Yeah.
Than Guillemon.
Which is interesting. We'll see if it stays like this or not. Starting like this, there's a lot of room for potential growth, and I think like this, I'll see kind of obnoxious. So.
Yes.
I'm really hoping there's growth for a variety of reasons.
Yes. And hey, Digimon growth is rare to find, so that was on our wish list. But then, everything was too happy and things were happy, and so we gotta have the...
Things are too slow.
Yep, we gotta have the dun-dun-dun music show up again. Clockmon's stalking him outside his window, which he promptly smashes.
And absolutely destroys
that window, which... Who's not going to hear that? The next room over. It's a dorm room. The rooms are really close together. If it's anything like any normal dorm room, somebody would have heard that.
Because Japan's known for their big, huge rooms, yes. Houses.
Large cities like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But Clockmon seems very surprised to see Gamamon there.
Yes.
He's like,
these questions, is that a Digimon?
Yes. Which, again... What does that mean? Does Clockmon only ever seen Digimon that are holograms and Gamamon's not? Is Gamamon some new Digimon? So it's
familiar?
Not familiar. What?
Clockmon has had something to say that says only he can be here, only he can be here at a time, or
yeah. Again, there's many ways it could go, and it could just be a random line that means nothing. But I like to think they put a little more thought into it than just that. And so Gamamon just tackles them out of the window. They go tumbling down.
And they give quite the fight here. They go smashing through a building. So I'm not sure how long Digimon are going to remain a secret in this series.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really on one side, not the other.
Yeah, I mean, there's... already
damage already.
I mean, there's already rumors about him already, so I mean, no one knows the name Digimon apparently, but there's been rumors and talk about them enough that they've got the viral internet videos and everything. Yeah, it should spread quickly. Should. Not guaranteeing these.
No.
So they go smashing through everything, finally ending up in a park, a playground kind of area. And Hero's
Huff and a puff and get you. So he's not like a Taiki. He's not a great athlete on top of it.
No.
Which I'm okay with.
And when they finally square off where we can see him, Clockmon just pops him too.
Yeah.
Everything.
Same thing. This golden circle and
And
crosses and all that.
that appears for a little while until the column's still there, but he like breaks out of the purpley stuff, and we get this strange silhouette behind him.
Yeah, very vague, but very dark and red-eyed and menacing looking.
And Clockmon is very unnerved to see.
Yes, not happy to see whatever this.
I'm assuming this is a preview of like some higher up form,
Or a dark digivolution of them.
or a dark one. So I mean, it's kind of wreathed in purple, and the dramatic, darker music than even before. It's like, this is important somehow.
This will probably come up again, yeah.
This one I can pretty much safely say. And as we learn later, it's supposedly fast. His ability is fast forwarding time, so it looks like it could very well be a later thing. Foreshadowing. Yes, it's cool. And after a little while, Hero's nervous, not sure what to do.
Yeah, at this point I'm going, Hero, you've done nothing in any of these battles. Are you gonna be useful in a battle in any way, shape, or form? And then he is.
Yes. One of the things we had asked for was some more clever kind of things to do. So, human, what's he going to do against even an adult Digimon? It's not Marcus. Is he picks up a twig and throws it in there.
Well, what's on this twig is important.
Oh, the chestnuts, yeah. Chestnut twig. Yes. And as it enters the stream, it goes up through it and rapidly ages to suddenly a tree comes crashing down and almost lands on Clockmon.
Yeah, so that's to dodge out of the way and break his time stream to avoid being crushed.
Yeah. Which is cool. Now, well done. That
Nice, clever thinking, clever writing.
Yeah. You can use their own things against him like that. That was very cool. And Gamamon seems not very deterred by the constant drain that he had.
No!
He was in it for quite a while. It's impressive.
I mean, Digimon are generally more resilient than humans, I get this, but...
Yes. And then, as they decide that they're both, going to fight, the Digivice glows, and I'm not sure who actually calls out the break law. I thought it was Hero saying it, which would be very unusual for the tamer to say the name of the attack.
Well, he wasn't on screen when it was said, so I assume it began.
I assume so, but yeah, I don't know. There's definitely something going on with the Digivices, and hopefully it's not just squeeze them and get more power. Glass easy. So, yeah. That happens, and he smashes the front face of Clockmon, which releases the time back and fixes people, but Clockmon's an adult. He's not fully defeated by this. He's not deleted or anything.
Yes.
And he runs off, promising, your time will be mine, promising his revenge.
I do find it interesting that the time suck thing was solved that easily. Which, I don't know, it's good and bad, I guess. I mean, it sometimes lowers the stakes and all that, but how dark we need this to be. There's also gives you the setup where sometimes, one at a time, eventually, that won't fix it.
That won't work, yes.
And that'll be a great wait, what moment if such a thing happens.
Yep, hello Data Squad.
What?
They do that beautifully. And that's pretty much it. Hero's just sitting there at the end going, Dad, what have we just started? And that's the episode. I think we've rambled on about it for
it's enough for a while.
For plenty of time. I'm very optimistic. I liked that first episode. That showed me enough good things that I am...
Yeah, there's enough things I asked for that seem to be show up in one episode. I mean, so far it seems to be a very different tone than anything I've seen at this point. Like, horror's not our favorite thing.
Oh, no.
It's something different and could be very interesting.
And from what little we saw in the intro to the next episode, it certainly looks like they're going to keep that theme. The mystery of the museum. And we'll have to wait another week, and we'll see what that one's all about.
Do you think any questions are answered, or more added, or maybe hopefully a little bit of both?
I'm kind of hoping both. Yep, exactly. Thank you all for watching. If you've made it this far into the video, we have rambled longer than any episode we've ever done of this on the channel.
Never done episode 1 before of a series that seems optimistic.
Yes. So thank you all if you made it this far. Remember to like, share it on Twitter, and wherever else you might be. And feel free to leave a comment below what you think of the season. It's very different already.
Yes.
Thank you all for watching. Keep staying awesome, everyone. And until the next video, take care.